I'd like you guys to try something. I want you to mix a song you like, and I want you to time how long it takes. And this doesn't work if it's your stuff, it's got to be stuff from other people. I want you to time how long it takes to mix a song you like. Then I want you to time how long it takes to mix a song you don't like. And this is what you will learn. After enough mixes, I came to this conclusion, and I'm trying to share the experience with you guys. You don't mix stuff you don't like well, and you don't mix stuff you don't like fast. Those are the two things that don't happen when you don't like the song that you're about to work on. So this is the way I recommend people working. If you're a beginner, you should mix everything in sight. Whatever you get, whatever you're lucky enough to get, you mix, because that's going to help your skill level. And it doesn't hurt in the beginning stages to just basically throw a ton of punches, throw a ton of baseballs. You want to become a pitcher, throw a ton of punches. You're trying to become a boxer. Learn how to punch correctly by doing it. You learn the dynamic, the basics, right? You do a ton when you're starting out. It's just normal. Once you hit a certain point, and this isn't even, I wouldn't say, don't call it pro level, but call it like intermediate or advanced intermediate, somewhere in that intermediate stage where you're clearly not a beginner anymore. I want you to realize that you will not learn anywhere near enough to make it worth it to work on a song you don't like. Because, let me explain why. Mixing, like I always talk about, it's all up here. It's literally everything in here has to be firing and working like an athlete in perfect tip-top shape in order to get the best result possible. Now, in order for that to happen, if you're battling your brain and your taste every step of the way, in other words, if you don't like the song, you're sitting down trying to work on it, and everything you do, it's like, well, it's a little better, but the song still sucks. It's a little better here, but it's still like, I can't deal with this thing. The song is if you're every time you make a move, your brain tells you the song still sucks. You can't be working on stuff like that. You know why? You should be willing to let that go and take that time you could have spent, that you were going to spend on that song, which, mind you, is going to be like 3 times as much as you would spend on a song you do like. All right, that's from my experience. It takes about at least twice as long, sometimes 3 times as long, to work on a song I don't like. And instead put that into making yourself, building up your profile in some way to be able to get mixing work you do like, or doing research on stuff you don't know, because there's stuff we always want to research and we put it off until we have time. Well, you're better off doing that than you are working on something you don't like. That person that sent you that song, they're sort of relying on you to be honest, because many mixers out there, tons of them, will work on everything they get because it's hard enough to get the work to come in that by the time they get it to come in, they're just like, you know what, let me just work on it, I'll get paid, yada, yada. If you're doing that, that to me turns mixing into ones and zeros, like a mathematical equation. And that's not what mixing is. Mixing is a combination of knowing what to do and your taste. Your taste cannot be in the equation if you don't like what you're working on. Your taste fights with what you're working on if you don't like it. So this is the importance of like broadening your taste, listening to tons of stuff you do like, so that you can really start to understand what you like and what you don't like. And that helps by working on a lot of stuff as in the beginner phase. You'll really get a sense of like, wow, I hate working on stuff like this. Trust me, you won't have to think about it. You'll just listen to it and know that. So the way you work is when you get a song, you always ask the client, the artist who's going to want you to mix their stuff, you're going to want to get a rough mix from them to hear what the song sounds like. And if you don't like it, you should say, thank you, I really appreciate you sending it, but I'm too busy to work on it right now. I don't think I'll do it justice. Any of those things, one or the other would be, you could tell them you don't like it and you can't do it, or you tell them you're too busy, and that way you don't have to, tell them you don't like it, which is, an artist could be sensitive. So if you don't want to deal with that, whatever. But the bottom line is you bow out. You get out of there and let that artist work with somebody who does like what they're doing. Because just right there, if they like it, like truly like it, not lying to themselves about liking it, then that person can give that song what it needs. I'll give you a good example. I'm working with somebody right now, and I've done this 100 times probably at least. Anytime somebody I'm working with, like the song's missing something, I play guitar, I play bass, I play little drums. Sometimes when I'm listening, I'm like, you know what? This could really use this. And since I can play it myself and I got the facility, I might as well just do it. And I would do that on something I like. Because if I'm listening to a song that's like, ooh, I love this. This is so good. It's just missing, it'd be great if this did that, or if it had real drums, or if the bass sounded a little better, or like whatever it is, that's gonna make me be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna charge extra for that if I agree to mix the song. And now I'm deciding, I'm the one who's like, you know what? This needs this. What I will often do is just do it. Because I'm so into the song and I want the song to get as far as it can possibly go, what that means to me is going out of my way for the song. Now, this is the same thing. This is like, if you notice, I also said I love it. And I'll tell you what, mixing it won't take as long, because every time you make a mix decision, your brain tells you if you like it simultaneously with the knowledge you have together, working together, being like, yup, the meters are looking good. It sounds amazing. You make a mix move that makes something sound better. You smile. It like brings this energy out of you. You're excited to work on it. You're excited to give it your all. You're just that excitement and that feeling of this is great drives you to make a better mix and better mix decisions. And when we mix, we make a million mix decisions. So every single mix decision you make on something you don't like, if it's a song you don't like, the whole time it's like, oh, that was a mix decision. Was it good? Was it bad? I don't know. The song's still terrible. And you know what I'm saying? You're constantly like, well, this is terrible. So I can't, no matter what I do, it sounds a little sonically better now, but it's still terrible. Every time you make a decision, your brain is doing this seesaw thing constantly, where it's like a little better, worse, a little better, still terrible, a little better, the whole thing sucks. So why work on that? Why spend all that mental energy that it takes to get something great without any of the reward along the way for having made it great? No matter what you do at the end, it's just some sort of compromise of like, well, I wish this wasn't this song, but because it's terrible, but it's better than it was. That's not how you should send out a mix. You should be like, this is awesome. I'm sending this out because I can't do any better than this, and it's phenomenal. I love it. It's an amazing song, and now I did a great job. If you look at it that way, your mixes just have a whole new life to them, and your whole mindset is driving towards being excited for the next song that artist gives you, and then the next work you do from somebody else, and then this whole thing of working on stuff you like makes this elevated to another level where now you become more confident, and now your mixes get better because you're not second guessing your mix decisions. The whole thing with mixing is the people that are really great, like an Andrew Sheps is actually one who will constantly, like he said this before, he'll kind of always do this mental inner battle where he doubts his work all the time. But there's no question about it. With all his accolades, the guy's definitely at the point where he deserves to give himself some credit. And what I'm saying to you is when you work on stuff you like, you will give yourself some credit without even trying. It just gets there. It translates, it gets in the bank, and that will help you. It'll help you wake up in the morning to do another one the next day. It will help you way more than working on something you don't like for 3 times as long and still not being happy at the end, and then listening to somebody who listens to it and give you their opinion. You don't even want to know their opinion when you don't like it. It's like you just have all these, as soon as they tell you anything, you just tell them, look, man, you gave me something I can't do nothing with. So like, what do you want me to tell you? You know what I'm saying? It's the wrong mindset. Give that to somebody who's going to be excited to work on it. You free up your time to do other things, and you will be so much better off for it. I can't even tell you. Because if you think mixing's all about twisting the knobs, you haven't seen enough of my videos. It's got nothing to do with twisting knobs. It's got to do with concepts and understanding how to get things from point A to point B, and keeping this clear is like the biggest helpful tip to get where you're trying to go. That is the secret you're looking for on YouTube with what video does what on mixing. That's the secret. It's how to get this right. And if you can say that you did enough work where you've earned the right to turn work down, that in and of itself is rewarding if the work is not something that connects with you. That's why you always ask for a rough mix. You make them send you something so you can hear what you're about to work on before you do it, before you accept money, because this way you could say no and pass if you don't connect with it at all. Trust me, this will make you a better mixer. Use that time to do other things rather than beat your head against the wall and still not be happy at the end. Trust me, guys, this is experience coming your way, and I used to accept every single thing I got. I worked on tons of stuff where I would lie to myself and say, oh, I like this, and I didn't, and then I'd work on it, and then it was never something that turned out well, and I never grew from it, after a certain point. In the beginning, when everything is new to you, then working on stuff is helpful for you. Everything in sight, so you can really wrap your head around what you do and don't like from a mixing standpoint. And then it becomes, you need to connect with the work. All right. And I'm not talking about stay in your lane in terms of genre, because I like all different genres. I mix rap, country, rock. I do many different genres, all sorts of stuff. I love funk. Personally, I love, old school. Any sort of like hard hitting funk is like probably my favorite stuff. But I dig everything that's out there that I connect with. And I even dig some jazz stuff. I dig all sorts of stuff, some folk stuff. Anything can hit me in a way that I like it. That's why it's about hearing the song. It's not about hearing what genre is it. I don't ask what genre is it and then turn it down. I want to hear the song, because if there's something I can connect with it in any way, if I could connect with that, I want to work on it. Then I'm excited. Then everything goes well. That's just how it goes. Whereas if I listen to it and then it's, I don't know, I'm already like this as I'm listening, turn that down, pass on that work. Trust me. Okay? Do me a favor, throw some stuff in the comments section, especially this season, guys. Anything you've run into like this that's helped you, if you relate to this, or even if you don't, I want to hear about it, because in my opinion, this is the stuff that people really need to wrap their head around when they're trying to get better. Turning down work is a freedom that once you've earned it, trust me, you will be better for it. Okay? So this is Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys soon, all right? You guys got this.